1310 WIBA, Madison in the morning. Shawn Prebil with you. Got a very exciting event coming up September 22nd. You've probably heard some of the commercials running here on 1310 WIBA. You may also recall a couple of weeks ago, we talked with Dr. Randy Kimple. He is a physician as well as a cancer researcher from the UW Carbone Center. And, of course, he talked about his work and, of course, the importance of events like the Ride. This morning, we are joined by one of the 2,000 riders who train and fundraise for the Rise, Melissa Tuttle Carr from McFarland. Melissa, how you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me on, Shawn.
Great to have you. And let's talk a little bit about the Ride. And for people who, as we talked this morning, want more information, you can go to theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. But let's talk a little bit about what the Ride is all about. And you have a personal connection. You've been involved with this for a few years now. But let's just really quickly start out talking a little bit about the event and what it's all about.
Definitely. Well, the Ride is an event to raise money for UW Oncology and Carbone Cancer Center. It's a cycling event, and one of the greatest things about it is that it's truly an event for anybody who rides a bike. It can be any distance from 3 miles up to over 100 miles. So you do not need to be a serious cyclist or a serious road biker to do this event. And it's also just really a celebration of all of the treatments that are out there and all the work that Carbone Cancer Center is doing and how they're improving the work through the money that they raise at this event. And
this event's been going on for 4 years now, raised nearly $1 million for UW and, of course, for the research of cancer. You've been doing the first 3 years. You've actually been part of this mission. Let's talk about kind of why you got involved with the Ride a few years ago.
Well, the first year that they started the Ride, I saw an announcement, and I was just so excited to see a way that I could give back. My mom, Diane Tuttle, died of a rare cancer in 1998, and she was just 51 years old. I was only 23 at the time, and my brother was even younger, and it's hard to lose a parent at any time, but extra hard to lose a parent at a young age during such formative years. And ever since then, I had really hoped to find a way to honor her memory and to help cancer patients in her name. And just hadn't really found anything that struck a chord with me. And then when the Ride was announced, it was just perfect. Cycling's always been a part of my life, from rides with my mom and my dad as a family when we were little, to being a mountain biker in college and now road biking as an adult. So as soon as I saw it, I knew that was perfect for me, and it's something I've been really passionate about ever since the start.
Well, it's people think about those that we've lost and things to do in their memory, and of course obviously with the connection with your mother and what she battled, and of course helping research so other people don't have to go through it. It's probably really drives you on this mission, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. If I can do anything to help other people not have to go through the same thing, to not lose a child, to not lose a parent or a partner, then I'm all for that, because anyone who's lost someone knows how difficult it is. And if I can be a part of that solution and help cancer patients see more birthdays, then that's something that means a lot to me, and I'm always really excited to be a part of that.
Talking this morning with Melissa Tuttle Carr. She is a rider with the Ride. More information online at theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. And Melissa, you mentioned earlier, and we talked the other last few weeks back with Dr. Kimple about this. There's very differences. So if different courses. So if you are somebody that's very much into cycling and really enjoys challenges, there's a 100+ mile course. There's also 3 a 17, 34 and 63, I think, if I remember correctly. But you've done a variety of different courses, haven't you?
Yeah, the first year I started out with the 17. It was actually the day after my first triathlon, and I wasn't sure who's going to be feeling that day, so I thought I'll start out with the first distance. And then actually afterwards I did the 3-miler with my family, and I've bumped up each year and did the 63 last year. And The only one I haven't done is the 102. Maybe that's a goal for the future. But yeah, that's what's so nice about the event is there's really a course for everybody, whether you want to bring your family out or just a casual rider, or if you are a serious cyclist and want to challenge yourself with the 102-mile route or the 63, there's something for everyone. And then no matter what distance you do, you're back at the finish line at the end, and it's a really celebratory atmosphere and just a great way to honor all that we're doing to help fight cancer.
It sounds like a fantastic event. Again, it's all going to be taking place September 22nd. You can get to the website right now, theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. You can make a pledge on the website. You can also, by the way, become a virtual rider if you're somebody who may not be able to make the event on September 22nd, or maybe you're somebody who says, biking's not really my thing. You can definitely be part of this great cause. Just be registered as a virtual rider and raise funds from anywhere. You can also, of course, make pledges online, theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. As we mentioned, this will be the fourth annual event. You've been involved in all three, and this will be your fourth one as well, Melissa. There's some big changes this year as far as where things start out. You guys are moving to the AmFam headquarters campus, aren't you?
Yes, it's very exciting. The ride has grown so much over the years that I think they needed a bit bigger of a space. So it's going to be a great place to be out at the American Family headquarters. And it's just great to see so many different Madison area businesses, such as American Family, really rally around this cause, help out the event, sponsor the event. It's just been really meaningful and gratifying to see so many people and businesses in the area get so excited about this event and want to support it and support the riders, and of course then in turn support cancer research at UW.
Really good stuff there. And let's talk too, for people who haven't experienced the ride before. Just in talking with you, I can hear the enthusiasm in your voice. It's a fantastic day. Let's talk about what somebody might expect on that day, on September 22nd, if they are going to be participating.
Sure. Well, I highly recommend it to anybody who's listening because it really is. It's such an inspiring and emotional day in just the best of ways. It's a celebration of cancer survivors. It's a celebration of the researchers working so hard to find better treatments and cures. And it's also a day to honor and remember those that we've lost to the disease. So when you get there, you'll see a lot of people will, wear special shirts or pin a thing to their back saying, I'm doing this in honor of somebody or in memory of somebody. So you'll see a lot of pictures and names, and just being in that sea of people and knowing that we're all working toward this common cause is it's just so meaningful and wonderful. And like I said before, it's a festive atmosphere. They have activities for the kids. They have music and food, and it's just a great event to bring the whole family to. And you get to ride your bike in the process and enjoy some beautiful Wisconsin countryside, which is always my favorite. And then you get back and celebrate and honor and just be a part of a really well-organized event.
It sounds fantastic, and I know the kiddos. I've got one at home, and one of his favorite activities is getting on, putting the helmet on and getting on that bicycle and riding, and be a whole lot of fun for families, as you point out, and get the kids out and bring everybody along and have a great day and ride bikes with other cyclists, and of course raise money. And I've seen in the past, and I don't know if this celebrity is going to be there this year, but I know Bucky Badger's been involved in some of the past as well. And I know especially for the little ones, you want to talk about a rock star. I know, like when my son and I go to football games or basketball games, one of his favorite activities is trying to find Bucky there. So
yes, my kids too. That's definitely been a huge selling point the past few years. That's for sure. Talking
this morning with Melissa Tuttle Carr from McFarland. She is a participant in the ride. Of course, you can participate as well, whether you want to do the 3 or even the 100+ mile an hour event, or if you just want to be a donor and become also a virtual rider opportunity as well, online at theridewi.org. That's the ride, RIDEWI.org. You can learn more about the event, again, taking place September 22nd. 22nd. Starts at the AmFam headquarters on the campus on the east side of Madison. We'll talk a little bit more with Melissa about the event. We'll talk about the fundraising aspect. We'll also talk a little bit about why she comes back year after year. We've talked a little bit about her story and talked a little bit about her mom. Talk a little bit also about getting the family out there and enjoying the day. We will do all of that next as our conversation with Melissa Tuttle Carr from McFarland with The Ride continues right here on 1310 WIBA. 1310 WIBA, Madison in the morning. Shawn Prebil with you, getting you ready for The Ride. It's going to be taking place September 22nd. All kicks off at the American Family AmFam headquarters campus on the east side of Madison. You can get more information online at theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. You can make some donations there. You can make a pledge there. You can, of course, also register for the race. Or if you want to become a virtual rider, you can do that as well. Again, at the website, theridewi.org. And we are joined this morning by Melissa Tuttle Carr from McFarland. She is a participant in the ride. She's been riding it each and every year since it started. And again, raised nearly $1 million for cancer research so far. And let's talk a little bit about that fundraising, Melissa. We've talked about how much fun it is, and of course how it's a great opportunity to remember those that we have lost, and of course a great opportunity to think about hope that lives can be saved. It's a fantastic event, not only to participate in, but the fundraising part. It's a great way to raise money for research, isn't it?
It is, and it's nice to have something that you can do yourself, because obviously I'm not a cancer researcher, I'm not a doctor, and knowing that I have this direct way to help their work, that I can do my own work to raise the money that goes directly to these researchers is incredibly gratifying, and it's just a great way to get involved and really make a difference myself.
Very interesting too, and so far, again, nearly $1 million raised the first 3 years. 100% of the dollars stay local at the UW Cancer Center, which is a huge thing as well. And people, and I know we talked with Dr. Kimple the other week, and he talked a little bit about his research. I think sometimes people take for granted what a phenomenal resource it is, and what a phenomenal center the UW Carbone Cancer Center is, whether it's through treatment or research. It's a really, really amazing facility. And of course, a lot of the breakthroughs that are coming out of there, funding is definitely needed. So, as people may not know, but as talking with you, I can tell you're a very motivated person. You're one of the top fundraisers each year. Can you share any secrets as far as your strategy when it comes to really kicking butt when it comes to fundraising?
Sure. Yeah, I've certainly learned over the years, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. I really feel like one of the best ways to fundraise is to use the power of a story. Everybody can connect with a story. And as we talked earlier, my story is that my mom died of cancer when she was 51 and I was just 23. And so I use my story. I use, photos of my mom, and I use my passion and my emotion for this topic to get people to really think about who they have had in their lives that have been impacted by cancer. And so, of course, a lot of people did know my mom. I grew up in Fort Atkinson, and so I do get donations from people who knew her, people who know my family, but also just I've got some amazing friends, too, that just they know how important this topic is. They know how important cancer research is, and they want to be a part of it. And so that has really helped propel me through the years. And sometimes I center it around my birthday. I have an August birthday, and so I get to say, hey, guys, this is what I want for my birthday. Let's help cancer patients see more birthdays. And so I've used that as well, and that's been a great driving force behind my fundraising as well. And, of course, social media, as always, makes it a lot easier these days. When my grandma used to fundraise for cancer research, she was doing a lot of door-to-door type stuff, and it's so much easier these days to just, put that post up on Facebook and get people to talk and send in their money.
That's really good stuff. The other thing too, as you were talking about some of your strategy, Melissa, another thing too is people are listening this morning in your car driving into work. One of the great opportunities too is as you mentioned, talking about talking about your story and, of course, talking about the importance of the research is you get into work this morning, talk to some coworkers, pool together, and whether you guys want to participate in the ride or you want to get money together and make a donation, it's a great opportunity to do that as well. All you got to do is get to theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. You can get registered to become a virtual rider. You can sign up as well if you want to actually do the riding, which, again, there is something for everybody, whether it's a 3-mile or a 100-plus mile ride. They've got several options for you there as well. It's a lot of fun, a great event, and, again, all for a fantastic cause taking place September 22nd. It all kicks off at, of course, the AmFam campus on the east side of Madison. And then, of course, real quick, Melissa, as we talk about, we mentioned earlier that 100% of all the dollars stays local with UW Cancer Center. People sometimes forget about that it's such a great treasure. How much interaction have you had with the folks at the UW and the UW Carbone Cancer Center, and what has that been like for you personally?
Well, it's interesting because actually way predating Carbone, my mom was actually treated at UW, and she had wonderful treatment there. And so I had early interactions with UW Oncology, but via the ride, the people that I've interacted with have just been phenomenal. Every time I talk to them, every email, you can tell how much this means to them. It's their job, but it's also their life's work. And they really, really deeply care about making lives better, improving treatments, and raising money via this event. So it's been great working with the people that I've worked with, and I know how much this means to all of them.
Is there something, too, as mentioned earlier, as kind of people driving into work this morning? What about corporate sponsors? I've got to assume there's opportunities for them as well?
Yeah, I would assume so. I know there are quite a few sponsors for the ride, and those are always deeply appreciated. Their sponsorship helps the event run and helps more of the money go to the researchers. I'm sure they can get that contact information at theridewi.org. And that's so appreciated. That's just so great to see the community really rallying around this event.
Really great information this morning. Melissa Tuttle Carr from McFarland telling her story. And, of course, she's been a participant each and every year for the ride. You can, of course, participate as well in the ride. Get to theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. Get signed up. Learn more about the event. Again, taking place September 22nd. All kicks off at AmFam headquarters on the east side of Madison. It's the 4th annual The Ride. Of course, nearly $1 million have been raised for cancer research so far. You got a feeling you're going to break the $1 million mark this year, Melissa?
Let's hope so.
Yes.
I'm doing everything I can to be a part of that.
Thank you. Thank you for doing all that. And you can be like Melissa, too. Get to the website, theridewi.org. That's theridewi.org. Melissa, thank you so much for your time this morning. Have a great day and look forward to seeing you on September 22nd.
Sounds great, Shawn. Thank you so much for having me on.
This is Madison in the Morning here on 1310 WIBA.